Yeah, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. We did promise you to extend that discussion we were having with the Supremo at Phoenix Football Academy, Craig Butler. He is the agent and father of Leon Bailey, the Bayer Leverkusen winger, who, according to the JFF, is in hot water over comments he made in an Instagram live chat where he said that the Reggae Boyz have the basic tools to get to the Qatar World Cup, but that the JFF itself is the team's biggest obstacle. And Butler says, well, there's nothing to see here, folks, because he signed nothing binding him to any code of conduct. And according to FIFA statutes, the young man did nothing wrong beyond expressing or expressing himself and exercising his right to freedom of speech. He comes back with us, Craig Butler, to finish up this discussion, and we appreciate the time he has taken from training, which is going on right now, to speak with us about this issue and others. Craig, let me ask you squarely. If it is that the JFF empanels a tribunal to look into this matter and Leon is sanctioned, whether a slap on the wrist or something more serious, something harsh, what would your advice be for him as his manager and agent?
We have already discussed it, not just as a manager and agent, but if the JFF decides to punish him for speaking what he feels and steps on his freedom of speech, he just won't play anymore. Simple.
And have you had cause to write to the JFF, consequent upon the statements in the media from the president and the general secretary, to say, well, gentlemen, clearly there, from my perspective, and I'm paraphrasing you now, there is nothing to hold Leon to. He was expressing his right to freedom of speech, and if there's any action against him, his services will no longer be available to the national team. Have you said this as a preemptive step?
Well, what we've done is it's very important that you understand that when someone puts something out in the media, out on the internet, it's for the world to see. So for us to respond to the JFF in the silence of a backroom door would not be sufficient a response. So we have prepared a press release, which we have released today just prior to this this interview.
I saw it published in the Jamaica Gleaner. Livingston Scott penned that article.
And
yes.
we immediately released it. And the final part of it was, if Jamaica doesn't want Leon, he's willing to take some time back and step back from international football.
Yeah, I seem to remember, Craig, sometime last year, I can't remember if it was early last year or middle of last year, Kimar Taxi Lawrence making some blistering comments, criticizing the JFF and its handling of the players. And I remember that, I can't say that punitive action was taken against him, but there was a threat from them in the same way that there's this threat against Leon Bailey that he has breached the code of conduct. Do you remember that story? And
I do remember it very well, because I was actually one of those who actually spoke with Kemar and Leon and said, listen, put country first, play the game, do the best you can, and they did. The reality of it is now you cannot have it's almost have I remember back in the days when the US had the big stick policy, where you go around and you have a big stick and you threaten to hurt people, and therefore they just comply and bow. I don't think that's in Leon Bailey's nature. He has fought so many things in his life to get where he is that he's not going to accept disrespect from anybody.
The issue of payment, you mentioned that in the first segment we had. You said you drew the parallel between the women's national team, the Jamaican women's national team, and the fact that monies which are due to them have not been paid by the JFF. Since Leon made his Reggae Boyz debut, can you tell us if he has gotten due payment from the JFF?
Leon has not received one penny from the JFF in the entire time that he has been there, although promises were made to the players. He has not received anything.
So I was going to ask you, is he unique in this regard, or players have not received?
And I'm speaking to my knowledge and understanding. I will not speak for Leon. I will speak as his manager and agent, which is a totally different thing.
Yes.
But to my knowledge, and I'm usually pretty aware of what goes on with Leon, he has not received any money at all.
And he should have been paid for the number of times he can for the national colors.
Absolutely.
Yes. Have you made representation on his behalf to say, JFF, what's happening?
JFF have not been willing to have a meeting with us about that. Remember, we've said that several times. We've asked for a contract. We've asked for a negotiation. and we have not had that opportunity. And that, I believe, is, I think what has happened is this. There was a time when players in Jamaica did not have managers, they did not have agents. They were more than glad to just put on the jersey and please just give me a game so that I can hope somebody sees me on international case and I can get a contract somewhere. The JFF has gotten used to that. This new breed of player has taken a step forward. They all now have contracts. They all now are playing in Europe or in the MLS or somewhere, and they understand what being a professional footballer is.
Yes.
You have to sign to things, you agree to things, you have a code of conduct, you have a salary you're being paid, right? You can, air your opinions. You're not, where daddy's gonna come and beat you if you open your mouth and say the wrong thing. No, treat them with respect. They love their country and they're going out there and working and they're flying from Leon had to fly 13 hours one time.
Yes.
In economy.
Yes.
And it contributed to his getting his hamstring injury.
Yes.
Because he played right after.
How many games has he played for the senior Reggae Boyz?
I believe 6 or something like that.
Right, and not a penny for any of those appearances?
Not a penny.
All right. Is it, I'm keen, when I thought about this interview and I said, how this may come across and, Craig, because of your personality, some people may just see you on the TV and get enraged because of how you go about your business, but you're a professional, you do the thing in the way that you believe will get maximum effect. I was keen to have the discussion in a way so that Leon Bailey is not shown in a particularly bad light. And I'm not saying that I'm doing window dressing, I'm just talking about the player himself at the core. And I say that to ask you this. When he links up with the national team, is he happy? Does he enjoy being with the squad? Does he enjoy putting on the black, green and gold given the difficulties that happened before? Does he feel as if he's a part of something worthwhile?
That's I've never seen more joy in Leon than when he plays for the national team. I've never seen him have more fun than when he's with his teammates. They love him, he loves them. It's very lonely being in Europe, sometimes in a country where you don't even speak the language. And to have the opportunity to be around your teammates, Leon never once complained about getting money from the JFF, not even one time. He actually paid his own plane tickets to come.
Yes.
Yeah? And it's a kind of kid that will take up his money during this COVID-19 and send food to Cassava Peace and to Grand Spen and to feed the people of his country. Well, many would have turned their back. This is not Leon's nature.
Yes.
When Leon speaks, he speaks from his heart and he speaks with what he believes is correct.
When he sits down and he seeks counsel from you and you volunteer counsel to him, does he give you the impression that he believes he's part of something, a team that can achieve something great, something historic?
Of course, you should hear about how he speaks about Shamar Nicholson and say, hey, Bobby Reid, good enough. We can do it in a beef. We can do it. We can make it to the World Cup, He really believes it, and I'm excited about it too.
Craig, because of all of what has gone on between yourself and the JFF, because you have had a history of combat, I don't expect you to speak sympathetically of the JFF. But in any jurisdiction, wouldn't it be normal for the JFF or any organizing body or any administration to be upset if one of their employees goes public and makes them look bad? Isn't it reasonable to think that the JFF would be upset about Leon Bailey's comments?
If it is reasonable, but there's a saying in life, what you sow, so shall you reap. So if you sow iniquity, you're going to reap a response. I believe that over the years, all of my wars with the JFF has been to get Leon Bailey his chance to play for the national team and his brother. That's all my wars have ever been about.
Yes.
To give the kid his chance. While Vin Blaine was saying he's no good. While Tappa ignored him for the under-20 when he was Belgium Player of the Year in the Premier League. He was ignored when he was here in Jamaica. Tappa ignored him for the national under-20 tournament out here.
Is it a case, Craig?
Why shouldn't I fight?
Yeah, but is it a case where, given that you said you've made repeated approaches to the JFF for a meeting to talk about the non-payment. And in the broad context of things, it would be important to Leon Bailey, but you're doing a business and you need your client to be paid for standards.
Actually,
yes?
please, sorry to cut you, but it was never about payment.
No, man.
I've never asked about non-payment.
Exactly.
I've always asked about having a contract so that we understand our terms of engagement.
Very well. You've sought the JFFs, you've sought audience with the JFF as well to talk about matters concerning maybe the playing squad. And agents do that, representatives do that. That's what they do behind the scenes. I say all of that to ask, in the way that you are replying so robustly in your usual nature to this latest issue, are you seeking the JFF's attention? Are you, I don't want to say you're acting out because you're an adult, you don't do that, but are you making a lot of this to say to the JFF, listen, come and talk to me in the structured way that I've requested several times in the past, and we can settle some things rather than to be out here trading barbs about whether or not Leon Bailey should be punished for what he said.
You ever watch a movie, Rambo?
Yes, sir. Which one? First Blood?
They drew First Blood. You went in the newspaper and you attacked Leon. You went on the nation's TV, radio, and said maybe he wants his father to be the president or the coach. That has nothing to do with what Leon's opinion is.
Did that hurt you?
No, it hurt Leon. That was trying to box something to the side and let people see another issue.
Why doesn't it hurt you? You expect that from the JFF?
Look, my job is Phoenix and Leon Bailey. My hope and desire is for Jamaica to have a successful, continuous, sustained run at the World Cup, which would open up opportunities for other young players, which would help our economy. It's not about the JFF.
Do you write the JFF again to ask for a meeting to settle all outstanding matters, or do you wait on them to come to you?
I will wait on them because I believe that they would need to look at what, if I were them, I would be looking at how they do their processes now and put a proper document in place where the players sign and agree to, and honor your obligations with your players, and you won't have a problem.
There you go. Craig Butler, Phoenix Academy boss, and he's the agent and father of Leon Bailey. And he says the JFF must come to its senses and deal with the thing professionally. That's the show for today. The SportsMax Ultimate 11 continues on Thursday. We continue to look at the bowlers. We're down to 4 spinners and 6 fast bowlers, but the list ain't any easier to navigate. Bradman versus Ivy Ricketts on sportsmax.tv's website, Ultimate. Go there and vote. If you vote for Sir Viv will get into the team. If you vote for Don Bradman will get into the team. It's between both of them. Go and vote, 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 vote until your mouse can click no more. All right? On behalf of Lance, Craig Butler is with us. We say goodbye.
Man, I got the design. And your girl say me sharp, sharp like a the file. Some boy on a lock, still back at the time. Set them a fire, but when I fire.